We're going to be starting off on page Word 14 on this video, and we're going to be creating a document using a template. And Word actually includes many templates that you can use to quickly create memos, faxes, letters, reports, brochures, and other professionally designed documents. A template is a formatted document that contains placeholder text, which is really generic text that you can replace with text specific to your needs. You can use the New command on your Office menu to open up a file that is based on a template. Then you replace the placeholder text with your own text, and you can save the document with a new file name. And in this case, we want to fax a draft of the Vietnam tour brochure to Wim Hoppengarth, who's in Asia. So what we're going to do is that, as it said in that opening paragraph, we're going to take a look here on page Word 14, and step 1 tells us we're going to click the Office button. Notice that opens up our Office menu, and we're going to click on the New. Now when you click on the New, this is all the different types of documents that Word has on there. If you take a look underneath this Office Online, these are all the different templates that are available for you to use. The ones that we're probably going to be using is up here in the My Templates or Installed Templates on there. These are ones that are already installed on your computer. Of course, to create a new blank document, you need to make sure that the blank document template is selected. Then you click on Create. Now there will be a little preview of it over here that you can take a look. Notice with the blank document, there's not one on here. In step 2, it tells us we are going to click on Installed Templates, and notice that we have all the different templates here. And it tells us that in the Templates category pane, which is this right here in the middle, it tells us we're going to scroll down the list of installed templates until we hit the Oriole Fax, which is right here. You notice when we click on it, here is a little preview that appears over here on the right-hand pane, on the preview pane. On step 3, we're actually going to go ahead and click on Create, and this will actually open up our document on here, our template, so that way we can actually take a look and see the different placeholder text that is available to us on here, and notice that the template has already been formatted there. Of course, by double-clicking an icon instead of just clicking on Create as well will also open up the new document based on your template. Step 4 tells us that we're going to click on the Pick the Date. So when we click on that, notice that this little button that pops here, and what this ultimately doing is that this is placeholder text, and that's going to select it, and what it's going to give us is what we call a content control, which is an interactive object that you use to customize a document with your own information. And in this case, this placeholder text is going to give us a calendar here. In step 5, it tells us we actually want to click the Pick the Date list arrow, and that's this little arrow right here. When we click on that, notice that a calendar appears on there. And you can use this calendar to select the date you want to appear in your document. And just to do that, you just simply click on the date on the calendar and enter that date into the document. You can use the arrows to the left and the right up here to change the month and year on there. So if I would go over into the future, notice that it changes the month, and of course I can go back into the past as well. Step 6 tells us that we're going to click on the Today button. So down here we see that there's a button that says Today. We're going to click on that, and notice that it puts the current date on there, 9/3/2013, which if you take a look down here, 9/3/2013. Of course, you can delete a content control box by right-clicking it and then click Remove Content Control on the Edit menu. And that is just if you want to completely delete out the content from that. Step 7 tells us that we're going to click on Type the Recipient Name. And notice that the placeholder text actually gives us that information. It kind of tells us what needs to go where. So on step 7, we click on the Type the Recipient Name, and we're actually going to type in Wim Hoppengarth, comma, guest. So that fills in who this is going to. Next, we're going to click on the Type the Recipient Fax Number, which is right underneath that. We're going to click on that, and then we're going to type in the number that it tells us in the book, which is 1-84-4-555-1510. And I know that looks like a funny fax number to you, but that is a fax number that would be for a foreign country. Of course, you do not need to drag and select the placeholder text in your content control. All you simply have to do is click it as we have been doing. Next, it tells us we're going to click type the recipient phone number, which is right underneath here. And it tells us we're going to press delete twice on that. So if I press delete once, notice the information that is in the content placeholder is removed. And if I press it again, then the actual content control has been deleted. And then it tells us that we're going to press backspace 7 times. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, notice it deletes out the phone with the colon on there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to type in hotel, and this is going to be in all capital letters, Hotel, Nico, Hanoi, comma, room 1348. And so this is a way that you can actually customize your templates. It's just by deleting out some of the content controls and replace it with the information that you want. In step 9, it tells us that if the text in the from line is not your name, which you can see here, it is not, we want to drag to select the text. Now, earlier I said you didn't have to do that, but that's if you're just clicking the text where it says type whatever. Once you type the information in, generally you'll need to select the text and replace it with your name. In step 10, it tells us that we're going to replace the remaining heading placeholder text as shown in figure A12, which is going to be located on page Word 15. After that, we're going to click the Office button, Save As, and we're going to save this document as WimFax to your My Documents or into your home directory. So what we're going to do is we're just going to finish editing this off here, and notice that we just click and just type in our information, and that just makes it just a whole lot easier. Like I said, templates are very useful. At times they can be a little bit difficult to work with on there, so you just want to make sure that you know, a lot of times when you use a template that you just keep on using the template as it's designed. You can make some minor changes, but not a whole lot. So once we get there, we're just going to finish typing out this information here. Now, one key thing to remember is that when you do not type in information on there, it will not print out. Like we're not going to click on the carbon copy or the CC down here. We're not going to click on that type text and type anything into it. And so you'll notice that that information will not print when it gets sent to the printer. Okay, so now we're going to click, after we get that all completed, we're going to go through here, hit our Office button, click on our Office button, go to Save As, and I'm going to save this into the My Documents, and we're going to save this as WimFax. And I save, and notice that the name of my file has been changed on there to WimFax, and it's still once again in Microsoft Word. Do take a look on page Word 15 where it talks about using the undo, redo, and repeat commands on there, because generally you know that if you want to undo a task, generally you click on the undo button, which is up here. However, you can actually undo multiple actions. If you click on this little list arrow here, notice that there's all these different actions that you can undo all at the same time period, so it doesn't have to be just one thing at a time. The redo button, which right now is not on my shortcut on there, or on the quick access toolbar there, but if you do have a redo button on there, the redo button appears only immediately after clicking the undo button. So if I would click on the undo button, notice that there is the redo on there, and that pops up immediately after I click on undo. Redo will actually redo the previous task that I've undone. Now, of course, what's great out here right now, that is the repeat on there. And it says if you want to repeat an action that you've just completed, you can click on this button. If you just typed in thank you, and if you click on the repeat, it's going to type in thank you again wherever the insertion point is at. If you just applied bold, clicking that will make bold apply to the rest of the text. So that is one of the benefits of using the repeat command. Okay, so go ahead, just make sure that your document is saved, and we will finish off this during our next video, and this will end up the next video will end up the videos for Word Unit A.